Namaste and welcome to GAP. Today we are going to discuss about India's ambitious mission to the moon, Chandrayaan-3. In the end we will tell you about who are the 6 other countries planning for a moon mission in near future. So, be with us in this exciting and informational journey. But before we start about Chandrayaan-3, let's understand about Chandrayaan-1 and Chandrayaan-2. It's always better to have complete knowledge about the topic. Now, let's begin with Chandrayaan-1. Chandrayaan-1. Meaning of Chandrayaan is mooncraft. In English, Chandra is moon and Yaan is craft. Chandrayaan-1 was India's first lunar mission, launched by the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, in October 2008. The mission consisted of an orbiter and a moon impact probe, MIP. The main objectives of the Chandrayaan-1 mission were to create a high-resolution 3D map of the moon's surface, study its mineral composition and its geological history, and search for water molecules on the moon's surface. The mission was also intended to test the technology and capabilities of the Indian space program. The spacecraft was equipped with 11 scientific instruments, including a terrain mapping camera, a spectrometer, and a radar. The MIP was designed to impact the moon's surface and eject debris, which could be analyzed by the orbiter's instruments. The mission was highly successful, achieving all of its scientific objectives and making significant contributions to our understanding of the moon. The Chandrayaan-1 orbiter discovered evidence of water molecules on the moon's surface, which was a significant finding as it suggested the possibility of using the moon as a potential source of water for future missions. Unfortunately, the mission ended prematurely in August 2009 when ISRO lost contact with the spacecraft. Despite this setback, the Chandrayaan-1 mission was a major milestone for India's space program and demonstrated its growing technological capabilities. Now, what is Chandrayaan-2? Chandrayaan-2 is a lunar exploration mission by the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO. It was launched on 22 July 2019 and aimed to soft-land a rover on the south pole of the moon. The mission consisted of an orbiter, a lander named Vikram, and a rover named Pragyan. The orbiter was designed to study the lunar surface, while the lander and rover were intended to explore the surface up close. ISRO has faced some setbacks with Chandrayaan-2. The mission's Vikram lander crash-landed on the lunar surface, and ISRO lost communication with it. However, the orbiter of Chandrayaan-2 is still operational and has been sending valuable data and images back to Earth. Chandrayaan-2 was the second lunar exploration mission by ISRO, following the successful Chandrayaan-1 mission launched in 2008. It was also notable for being India's first attempt at a soft lunar landing and for being one of the few missions to target the lunar south pole. Now, it's time for the most ambitious mission to the moon, Chandrayaan-3. About Chandrayaan-3, India's space agency, the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has been making significant strides in space exploration. One of its most ambitious projects is the Chandrayaan-3 mission, which aims to land on the lunar surface and conduct scientific experiments. The mission is a follow-up to the previous Chandrayaan-2 mission, which encountered some technical difficulties during its landing attempt. Chandrayaan-3 is a crucial mission for India as it aims to enhance the country's expertise in space technology and establish India's reputation as a major player in space exploration. The mission will consist of a lunar lander, a rover, and an orbiter, all of which will be designed and built by ISRO. Chandrayaan-3 will be launched by mid of 2023 from LVM-3 rocket from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Every mission has its own objective or motive, so we will understand about what is the objective of Chandrayaan-3. The main objective of Chandrayaan-3 is to explore the south pole of the moon, an area that has not been studied in depth by previous missions. The lunar lander and rover will collect and analyze samples of the lunar surface, measure the temperature and composition of the soil, and study the magnetic field of the moon. ISRO has made significant improvements to the Chandrayaan-3 mission. The lander and rover will have stronger and more reliable landing systems, and ISRO has made improvements to its communication systems to ensure that it can maintain contact with the lander and rover throughout the mission. The Chandrayaan-3 mission is currently scheduled to be launched in mid of 2023. ISRO has been working tirelessly on the mission, and it is expected to be a significant achievement for India's space program. Now, you may think how ISRO will launch Chandrayaan-3 into the moon. So, it's time to discuss about the launch vehicle. The launch vehicle for Chandrayaan-3 will be India's largest and heaviest GSLV Mark III, also known as LVM-3, which is India's most powerful rocket and has already been used to launch several missions, including Chandrayaan-2. So, now you may ask, what is GSLV? The GSLV stands for Geosynchronous Satellite Launch Vehicle, GSLV. By the name we can understand that this rocket is used to launch satellites into geostationary orbit, which follows the direction of Earth's rotation. Basically, all type of communication satellites are placed in geostationary orbit. LVM-3 stands for Launch Vehicle Mark III. Now, GSLV Mark III, LVM-3, is configured as a three-stage vehicle with two solid strap-on motors, S200, one liquid core stage, L110, and a high-thrust cryogenic upper stage, C25. The overall length of the vehicle is 43.5 m with a gross lift-off weight of 640 tons and a 5-meter diameter payload fairing. With a lift-off mass of 640 tons, this 43.5 m tall three-stage launch vehicle gives ISRO full self-reliance in launching heavier communication satellites. Payload of GSLV Mark III, LVM-3, can carry satellites weigh up to 4,000 kilograms in GTO, geosynchronous transfer orbits, and heavy payloads up to 10,000 kilograms into low Earth orbits, LEO. Recently, ISRO has used LVM-3 to launch 36 OneWeb satellites into low Earth orbits, LEO. Cost per launch is 500 crore rupees, $63 million. Here are few space rockets or launch vehicles of other countries or space agencies which we can compare with our GSLV Mark III. This also gives us a fair idea about the progressiveness of ISRO. H2, a rocket of Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, Japan. Long March Y6 of China National Space Administration, CNSA, China. Ariane 5 of European Space Agency, ESA, Europe. Falcon 9 of SpaceX, USA. Angara A5 of Roscosmos, Russia. Till now we have discussed about Chandrayaan projects of ISRO. Now, we will also have a fair amount of idea about the future missions to Moon. Apart from India's ISRO, there are several countries and space agencies that are currently planning or working towards exploring the Moon. China, the China National Space Administration, CNSA, is currently developing its lunar exploration program, which includes a series of robotic missions and the eventual goal of establishing a crewed lunar base. Russia, the Russian Space Agency, Roscosmos, has announced plans to send a series of robotic missions to the Moon with the eventual goal of establishing a lunar base. Japan, the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA, is currently working on the development of a lunar lander and rover for future missions to the Moon. European Space Agency, ESA, is collaborating with international partners to develop the Lunar Gateway, a space station that will orbit the Moon and serve as a staging point for lunar missions. United Arab Emirates, UAE, the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center, MBRSC, of UAE, has announced plans to send a robotic mission to the Moon by 2024. United States, the US has a long history of lunar exploration and is planning to return humans to the Moon through the Artemis program, which includes a series of robotic missions and eventually a crewed lunar landing by 2024. So, we can say that future of mission to Moon will be exciting and knowledgeful. In conclusion, the Chandrayaan-3 mission is a crucial step forward for India's space program. The mission will enable India to enhance its expertise in space technology and establish its reputation as a major player in space exploration. With improved technology and lessons learned from the previous mission, ISRO is well equipped to make the Chandrayaan-3 mission a success. So, this brings to the end of today's session. I hope I have been able to make you understand about Chandrayaan missions of ISRO. If you have any questions for us, you can comment in the comment section or email us. We would be happy to help. Thank you for your time. Stay safe and stay happy.